Just want to give you all the updates coming in the last hours about the situation in Gaza, especially in northern Gaza, and what is happening also with the Israeli Zionist forces. So you don't want to miss out on all of these updates. Therefore, if you're one of those people not subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing because I give you the updates as it comes every single hour. Take a look at this one. So basically, this is a military jeep of Israeli troops and from the Israeli army. This kind of military jeeps, they're very, very important for the transportation of those terrorists, the ITF, Israeli Terrorist Forces, in order to mobilize their forces from one place to another. They are not normally used for fighting purposes in of itself. This jeep, they are very easy to maneuver, easy to navigate, easy to move around. Therefore, it makes it easy for the Israeli troops to, or the terrorist forces to target those resistance forces in Gaza, especially again in northern Gaza. And this was this time destroyed by the resistance forces in Gaza. I'll actually share with you this picture real quick just to give you an idea. So this is a Markova tank, and you can see there are like 4 people around it. I'm not going to show the picture for too long because YouTube will censor me. You saw 4 red pins or red marks there. These are all dead soldiers from Israeli forces. Why? Because this particular Markova tank was attacked, and they had, at least according to what I understand from this picture, there was like 4 soldiers inside of the tank, and the Al-Quds brigade, Al-Qassam, the military wing of Hamas, they have been able to successfully eliminate all of those 4 inside of that tank. So the tank was destroyed, and also those 4 monsters, they're also eliminated. Now, in addition to this, Al-Qassam military wing of Hamas, they have also destroyed this troop carrier. These troop carriers, again, they're very, very important, very, very vital for the reinforcement purposes of the Zionist forces. They move around very fast. As you can see, they have a lot of sophistication when it comes to its mobility and all that. It even has most likely radar system, communication devices, or everything. And this piece, they cost a lot of money compared to just a jeep. This was also destroyed, and it happened again in the last few hours. So they are destroying all of these military vehicles. And when we talk about this particular one, the troop carrier, we obviously talk about those Israeli forces inside of this carrier who were driving, operating on it, and they also got killed. Now, most of the time, we do not have the numbers of how many got killed, simply because ITF forces, number one, they will not even acknowledge. They will not even acknowledge there was such incident, there was such casualties, let alone acknowledging how many died. This information that coming directly from the resistance forces, because of them, because of those pictures that they're taking, as I showed you one of these pictures, now we know exactly that these Zionist forces are getting punished every single day in Gaza. What we see instead, they will claim that the Zionist forces will claim that we have eliminated, resistance forces in Gaza. What about your casualties? No mention of that. Now, also we have the Al-Quds brigade, the military wing of Islamic Jihad in Palestine. They have conducted operations. They have resumed their communication with the rocket team. I'll explain to you more in a second. And they have also retaliated against some of the Israeli cities by firing rocket at those. Again, I will share the map and all the details in a second. But this guy in our conversation is important, and it is also important for what happened in Gaza in the last hours. Why? As you know, this monster, he is a child murderer. Remember this guy, one of the biggest terrorists in the world, and with him there are some other terrorists here and there, his bodyguard maybe. But this monster, he recently stormed Al-Aqsa Masjid. He's going there with his lunatic intentions and behavior, and very unhinged person, and doesn't know what he's doing. A lot of the time talks about killing babies and blowing them up, and giving AK-47 to the locals to use them against the defenseless Palestinians. This is the guy. Okay, this is the guy. So he does this kind of erratic behavior all the time. He demonstrates his mental instability, his he needs to see a psychiatric very, very soon, but his psychological state, his mental state is very, very bad at the moment. I mean, it had always been, and he's just another inbreed. This guy, he stormed Al-Aqsa Mosque, and the reason Al-Quds, not Al-Qassam, not Hamas, Al-Quds, the military wing of Islamic Jihad, the reason they have launched those rockets into Israel was because one of the main reasons was because of his recent action, going into Al-Aqsa Masjid and storm it, pray there, and claim it to be his own and personal property, or the property of the Zionists. This is the reason why his city is now under red alert all the time. Now, let's talk about this particular incidents more in details. So I'm just going to be showing you this map here. First of all, this is a map. This place is called Sderdot. That's what they call it. I think you can see it clearly from the screen, and this map is important. So for us to understand the recent incident, this map is important. So pay attention to this place. This place is in Israel. Let's actually zoom out so we know the exact location where it is. So if we zoom out from Sderot or Sderot, I don't know how to pronounce it even. These are so awful to even pronounce. So take a look at this one. So this map is right here where you can see the red pin, and the reason I'm showing you this particular place is because of this place came under attack, rocket attack from Al-Quds, the military wing of Islamic Jihad, yesterday, and they had red alerts already in central Israel. Now this place, you can see this is actually northern Gaza, close to northern Gaza, and also northern Israel looks like. This is coming under attack along with other places. So this one plus you can see how intensified these attacks are coming from northern Gaza. This place is Sderot, and then you have Jerusalem and Tel Aviv also came under attack. So where is Tel Aviv? If you see here, Tel Aviv is right there. You can see the range of these missiles. They are quite long in terms of its range. Then we also have Jerusalem coming under attack, and then also this place that I just showed you guys as Duret or Duret, whatever. And these rockets are being fired by the Islamic Jihad Al-Quds, the military wing of Islamic Jihad. These are not coming from Hamas. Okay, these are not coming from Hamas. This is a separate brigade who are conducting this kind of operation, and also they have resumed, as I said, their communication with the rocket team. Basically means that what we will see in the next few days will be an intensification of those rocket missile attacks, those projectiles being fired into Israel more and more. Let's actually go back to the article that I wanted to share. Let's read from here to see what exactly happened. So here is what is coming. As soon as the Israeli military set up a new post in Jabalia, the resistance responsively and decisively. So Jabalia camp, as we know, it is being bombarded, and they're using fighter jets to drop bombs on it. They're killing innocent children, women and children, innocent civilians, without any care. I mean, this is the level of monstrosity that we see from Israel. They don't care. Jabalia is being decimated, is being pulverized. This whole area, the buildings, the infrastructures, they're all gone. This is a ghost city right now, a ghost town. Nevertheless, they have set a new post. Why? Do you know why? Well, let's take a look at this article. They have set a new post. The reason for that is because they cannot leave this place. When they do, the resistance forces, they regroup, they come back. And this is being repeated many, many times, frustrating the Israeli forces, the terrorist forces, and they are now even screaming, How this is even possible that we have decimated, we have pulverized, we have destroyed this whole town, the Jabalia refugee camp, and there should not be any trace of life there. How come then we have to come back? And this is the level of resistance, the resilience that these resistance forces, especially Hamas, they're showing. This is what they're dealing with. The ITF forces, the Zionist monsters, whoever think they can conquer, they can capture, they can bring entire Gaza under control, they cannot bring just the refugee camp under control, Jabalia refugee camp. How can they control the entire Gaza? They are just using this, they're just pushing this narrative that somehow by having their presence taking over Gaza will minimize risk coming from Gaza. This is their narrative they're trying to push, when in reality, even a small bit of a refugee camp is a big threat to them, let alone them occupying the entire Gaza city. It is impossible. They cannot eliminate any threat. It is all bogus, all fake news. They need to leave the Palestinian alone. They need to give them their human rights. They need to give them all kind of rights and leave them alone, and then they can make a peace deal. But this is the problem. They do not want a two-state solution at all. And so they are now facing this resistance who are never going to die. Never ever going to die. And this is, guys, something we should also do ourselves and boycott those Israeli products every single day. The Al-Qassam Brigade, the military wing of Hamas, announced on Monday that its fighters successfully carried out a complex operation targeting a newly established Israeli military post in the Jabalia refugee camp in northern Gaza Strip. According to a statement released by the group, the operation resulted in the destruction of an Israeli Merkava tank. I showed you the picture just now, killing and wounding its crew. Al-Qassam also reported targeting an Israeli military jeep carrying several soldiers with grenades, resulting in further casualties. So again, we do not know how many died because ITF will not reveal. In a separate operation, the brigade stated that its fighters destroyed an Israeli troop carrier in Beit Hanun. And Beit Hanun, guys, is the place where those ballistic missiles were launched. Remember, I mentioned to you guys in my last video where we have seen the resistance forces, they're now firing sophisticated missiles. I don't know if they're exactly ballistic or hypersonic. Hypersonic, I don't think that is possible, that the resistance forces will have hypersonic missile, but ballistic, possible. And these missiles are being launched from Beit Hanun, and in Beit Hanun, instead of getting defeated by the Zionist forces, because, hey, they have launched rockets, missiles, this sophisticated missile, ballistic missile from Beit Hanun, let's go there and destroy it. Instead, what we see is that they're coming under attack even more from the same place. So this is the level of effectiveness they have coming from the ITF forces. They're not effective at all. They're cowards. They're a bunch of cowards. They run for their life. So the brigade stated that its fighter destroyed Israeli troop carrier in Beit Hanun, the same place where these rockets, or these, not rockets, missiles were launched, ballistic missiles. Located northeast of Gaza, using a Yasin 105 shell. Now this shell is being used all throughout this war. Yasin 105 shell. There is something special about this. The attack reportedly killed and wounded the vehicle's crew. Again, we do not know the exact number, but I would put the number at least 4 or 5. Meanwhile, Al-Quds Brigade, the military wing of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, announced that over the past 2 days, its fighters launched missile attack strikes against Tel Aviv, occupied Jerusalem, and then you also have that place I showed you, Asderot or Sderot, something like that, and the Gaza envelope region. Now this is coming in a statement on Monday released. The group explained that the strikes were a response to quote-unquote crimes of Israeli enemy against the Palestinian people and the storming of the blessed Al-Aqsa Masjid by that Zionist lunatic Ben-Gvir, the minister. The Al-Quds Brigade confirmed that they had resumed a communication with their rocket force in northern Gaza, which carried out missile strikes. Okay, so again, this is something that is absolutely going to be devastating for the Zionist forces. They are not successful in capturing any land or getting any or seeing any sign of victory, success in Gaza, but they're going to be there to just continue this genocide, and we need to raise our voices all the time and even though we cannot go there, but we have to boycott their products. We have to help them in any way, shape, or form and keep this resistance alive.